Got it. Okay, good morning all. I believe we are live now. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is Sean with The Guy Who Sews, and I have a very special guest with me this morning. It is Fallon with Sew Be It Quilts. Did I get the channel name right?
Yes, you did. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. So Fallon's been on YouTube now for about 2 years, and she's actually one of the first channels I started watching on a regular basis last Christmas when you did your box
Oh, the
opening.
Advent unboxing.
Advent, yeah, the
Okay.
one from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and then the Cotton Cuts
Yeah.
backboard one, which they have not brought out this year, to my disappointment. I'm still hopeful. I've asked twice. We shall see, because I'd love to do that one.
I would too. I was really hoping they'd bring that one back.
And they still might. I mean, I might go ask them a third time, just because there's a lot of people that actually said, yes, I want to do this. So, I mean, I think there's a market out there for it, but it's up to them to do it. So we shall see. But do you want to take a few moments just to talk about yourself, about your channel, what you do, and all that good stuff?
Of course. So my name is Fallon, and my channel, Sew Be It Quilts, has been around for about 2 years now. I do a lot of unboxings on there, but I also like to do tutorials. My favorite thing to do is reviews on different sewing supplies like notions and things like that. And yeah, that's about it. I'm really trying to show, and me and Sean were just talking about this, really trying to show that it is okay to just be okay with where you are within quilting and learn as you go and not have everything be perfect. So I'm really hoping to convey that more on my channel to make people feel comfortable with where they are in their quilting journey.
That is excellent, Fallon. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to move everybody over to the new link because I'm still having the same technical difficulties as before. But
Where it won't let you join the thing you already have up, the link you have up.
yeah, and I think it's because I set everything up on my computer, and my computer's a teenager, and it doesn't talk to when I go from the phone, it just decides to go to a new link. So it's just one of those things. But I think everyone's used to it now because it happens every week. But you know, we work with the technology that we can afford, and you know, go with it. One day I'll upgrade to a new computer, but we shall see.
No, that's what I tell people too, is if, some people have asked me about starting a channel and stuff, and I'm like, I started on my phone, so you don't need anything fancy at all.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. Like when I started, I had my phone and I bought a $20 ring light and a $10 selfie stick tripod thing, which I still use. And since I bought a new phone because the other one, died, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can really do this with very, very inexpensive equipment, and
Yeah.
you can upgrade. I mean, I know you've got some really nice gear. I love that sewing room tour that you did a few months ago. But yeah, I mean, start out and just see if you like it, because you don't want to go out and invest $1,000 in gear, do 3 videos and go, yeah, this ain't for me.
Exactly.
I doubt that'll happen. I mean, I think if you want to do it, you'll love it and you'll continue with it. But yes, just start off with what you have. I mean, go on Amazon, go grab a cheap ring light and tripod and just have a go. And if you do and you need help, reach out to me. I'm sure Fallon will be happy to help you with any questions that you may have and that sort of thing
Of
as well.
course. Yeah, I've helped a lot of people with what I edited on, because I used to edit just from my phone, and because some of the programs for editing can be really expensive. So I had one on my phone that I edited from that was really cheap, and it worked really well.
Do you have Android or Apple to use on your phone?
Mine's Apple, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I use Android and I found the program, I still use it to this day. I mean, I think it cost the full program was $12. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't beat that. And I love it. I mean, I use that rather than the computer because my old computer is not going to handle any sort of editing. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, that might be something for you to talk about one day, is what I've had trouble figuring out what programs are good for Apple to get people started, because I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's hard when people ask when they use something completely different. You're like, I mean,
Yeah, if you're on Android and you want to start a channel and you need to know what program to use and everything else, I'll happily tell you, but yeah, if it's Apple, go talk to Fallon or someone
Yeah,
else.
I can help you there.
So I put it on the original sheet. We're doing the Rockin' Block, which is a block. I need more coffee. That Fallon designed, which I thought was awesome. I was talking to her earlier this week and said, hey, you know, really should go talk to, well, I was thinking about it, like I really should go talk to the pattern designer to make sure they're cool with us using it. And then I realized it was her. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's a free pattern. So there's a PDF and everything that will help you with it too, but it's a really easy block and I think it's really fun to do. It's nice.
Yes, I made a little test block this morning just so I didn't look totally inept.
That's cute. I like the colors.
Yeah, and it's a mini one. I just used my 2.5-inch squares and just kind of modified it. But for this one, yeah, I'm going to use the correct size because I think what I might do is make a wall hanging kind of like the one behind me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
that's what's nice about this block too, is you can easily adjust the size for what you have. Use
exactly.
10-inch squares or whatever you want to do.
So that'll be good. Let me just check the chat real quick, and then I think we'll go ahead and get going. Let's see who's here so far. It looks like we have about 20 people so far. Bettina's here. Yeah. We normally get between 20 and 40, depending on, we get more as the live goes on because people are,
wake up.
Yeah, it is early, but I'm a morning person, and like you told me earlier, you are as well. So
yeah,
appreciate you getting on. It's kind of hard for the West Coasters because it's only like 5-something in the morning for them. So we'll try and organize something for them in the near future as well. But LD Stanley is here. Donna's always here with me. Bettina, Beverly Aikens, Nancy Guess, Linda Parsons, Colleen's here, who always does a great job throwing links in there for me and everything else. And Stephanie's here from Stephanie Stitches. I mean, she's a busy lady this week. She's heading out to Washington State, I believe, for her next. What is it? What do they call those things? Retreats. So yeah, it looks like I've got everybody. So let's go ahead. Are you going to show us how to do it, or? Yeah,
I can walk through. I'll just show a few. So if some of you don't know what block we're doing, I was telling Sean that I did a ton yesterday. I was getting fabric ready, and then I just couldn't stop making them. But it's a really fun block. So to get started, you need if you're going to do the size that I have in the pattern, you just need 2 8-inch squares, and you put them right sides together. So I have 2 squares here. You put them right sides together, and I like to mark the center line on these because this is going to make 2 of those 4 square blocks. So I mark the center, which is 4 inches, and you sew a 1/4-inch seam along both sides of that line. I should probably turn on my iron too. Now, you do need a square ruler that is 9.5 inches for this size block, or you could cut out a template from paper that's 9.5 inches and use that to line up and turn around. It would be really easy to do as well.
That I don't have, but I'll work something out.
Yeah, it's really easy if you use lines on your cutting mat or cut something out with paper, something like that, to get it to work. But obviously, if you happen to have the right size ruler, it makes it a little bit easier.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm going to double check and make sure my fabrics are right sides together, because when I'm talking and working, I end up doing something weird.
Yep.
I don't know how you do these lives and keep track of the chat and everything else. That's like a whole other talent I'm not used to. I think I've gone live on my channel once.
It gets it. I'm still trying to perfect that. I mean, that's where, and I think I say this every week, but I mean, I just admire folks that can't, like, I'm not perfect by any stretch with that sort of thing, but I admire folks like Becca and Tiffany and that can do all that stuff, because it's a lot of multitasking, and especially being a guy, but I say I can only do one thing at once, which is totally true. It's not easy, but I think it comes with practice. I mean, I think I'm getting better at it. And
I
then the
think
other
you
thing,
do great.
thank you.
I watch you almost every morning. I'll hop on for at least a little bit before I have to start doing stuff, and you do such a great job.
Yeah, and the other thing I find too with these lives is having a good support team, like having a couple of good moderators. I mean, they hop in and just help out with my links, and then if they have questions that I missed, they'll tag me and say, hey, so and so asked this question. So having a good support team behind you, I think's key as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that in your chat that I think is it Colleen you have in there usually?
Colleen and Donna are usually the two that come on Saturday mornings with me and help me out. And yeah, it's so much easier when you have that. Because you'll find too, like Tiffany will have her husband help out with the chat,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Donna has her husband's whose name I can't remember. I feel terrible now that I've forgotten his name. Is it Joe?
I'm horrible with names. Just, so I don't know, but I know I've noticed in your chat that you have moderators and they're always putting links up to everything you guys are talking about. I'm like, how are they so quick getting all that up? It's really helpful. I know for us in the chat, it's helpful because then we can see, what's going on. And
yeah, Colleen, I know she has like a Word document or something saved of all the links, and then you can also get like a bot and have different commands, which I have. Okay, Tiff's Scott. So that's the other thing too. You can ask questions, and the viewers will answer you too, which is great. So yeah, if you ever want to do lives, just have at it. Just start off, and people are very forgiving. Like they understand that you're starting off, and they do not demand perfection. So yeah, don't be afraid to give it a shot. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I'm like one of the shyest people in the world. So if I can do it, then pretty much anyone can.
Yeah. Mine is mainly getting over my, like, I know we've talked about it, that I have a lot of anxiety, and you're like, oh, we could record this if you want. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like I like to try to put myself, in those situations, because it really helps you in other areas where my anxiety is worse. With driving is what I need to work on more, but it still shows up in other areas. But I like to work on it so that I can get more comfortable in situations I'm not used to. So
yeah. I know, because you were on there with Becca a couple of months ago, and I thought
that was horrible. I mean, it was good. She's amazing, but that was like my first time, and she has such a big channel. I was like, oh my gosh, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was kind of like fanboy, because she, like you said, she's got such a big channel, and she invited me on like 2.5 months after I started, and I was like, oh wow, I'm in the big leagues now.
Yeah, she's so nice. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to hopefully meeting up with her in a couple of weeks.
Oh really? That's awesome.
Yeah. She only lives like 3.5 hours away from me, so yeah, we've made plans to have coffee together or something like that one day. So
then you'll really be I would feel like I'm meeting a celebrity if I met her and a few other people too. I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Well, we've talked a lot, and I just thought it'd be fun, especially because we're not halfway across the country either. I'm blessed enough where I can actually go do that. So all right, so Janet's been asking us what we're working on, and it is called the Rock and Block quilt block. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to show that real quick again for the viewers that hopped in just a few minutes late?
I threw it to the side. Okay, so it's this block here. It starts with a 4-patch, and then you put a border on it, tilt it, and cut a square. It's so easy to make, and it's really fun and very forgiving. Because you really only have to meet up that one point in the middle on the 4-patch. And then once it's trimmed down, the rest of the blocks go together really nicely. So I love making this little block.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I just threw, like I was saying earlier, I just threw together like a little test one just to make sure. And I think it maybe took me like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're really quick to come together.
Yeah. And I kind of cheated with that one too. I just used two and a half inch squares that I already had pre-cut. And so I just made a 4-patch and then put the border around it and zipped it. So.
Right. You don't, yeah, that's the thing too, is you don't have to do it this method where, you know, where I'm sewing it, where we're going to cut down the middle and have, you know, make 2 4-patches out of this. You could just use scraps and put them together in 4 patches. And, you know, there's a lot of ways you could easily adjust this to fit what you want to make.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it bigger, smaller. Cause I mean, that one's smaller. I mean, I just used what I had. So, and that's what I like about it. Like you said, it's just so versatile. Let's see if I'm just missed anything else. Let's see. Donna says, Fallon girl, you're doing fabulous, one step at a time. I mean, I'm so proud of you for stepping out and doing this, you know, like.
Thank you. And thank you, Donna. I'm trying. It's so different doing a recorded video where you can do the take a million times if you want to.
I totally with that, you know, I'm the same way, you know, and that's where I love this community. It's just, they're so forgiving and so understanding. And yeah, it's one step at a time. Like, you know, your first one's got to feel like not great, and then it gets better and better. So with my shyness and introvertness, if I can do it, anyone can really. So okay, let's just check real quick. I did see someone pop in earlier. What if Lou? Hello from Australia. What part of Australia are you from? I'm very curious. I'm actually from Australia myself, if you don't know. From New South Wales, just north of Sydney, about 6 hours, a small town called Tamworth. People in Australia would know where that is, but most of us probably would not. So I've drawn my lines down a couple of them, and I'm going to go ahead and start sewing those together.
Okay.
Smidge. Now, where'd my foot pedal go? There it is. And then Janet says, I watch you a lot, Fallon, love your honesty on different products. And that's one of the things I love about your channel too, is that you're honest about your reviews, and which I think is great.
Yeah, that's hard because sometimes I feel so bad, like, because you don't want to be, but I try to be very fair and explain why I like something or I don't like something. And then hopefully, you know, because everybody's going to like something different. So hopefully with my description of why I don't like something or why I don't think it works for me, you know, people can still decide if it might work for them based on what I'm saying. Because, you know, we all are going to have different things that work for us in our quilting space. But I don't want to pretend that I like something that I don't either, because it's not helpful at anybody in a review.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I like about it, is like you do go and you don't just say, okay, well, it's 1 star and because it's stupid. You know, you say it's nice when you say, okay, well, this is why it doesn't work for me. And then someone else, you know, like you said, someone else might say, okay, well, you know, it doesn't work for her, but that might work for me. And like before I go buy a lot of stuff, if I've seen that you've reviewed it, I'll actually go check out your channel and do that, because I love hearing your viewpoint on it. Because you are fair and you do explain it.
Yeah, one I can think of that I did recently was, it came in the sew sampler, and it was that trimmer for the half rectangles, and it works really well. But I like to tell people something like that, it only cuts 1 size, and you know, unless you're going to always be making half rectangles that exact size, how often are you going to use it? And it's not a very expensive piece. I think it was around $6, but once you pay shipping and all that, it is quite a bit more. But you could pay a little bit more and get a half rectangle trimmer that, you know, can do multiple sizes. So
yeah, and I think that's important. Like, I try not to buy something else and go to use it multiple times.
Right.
You know, that's why, was it the 45-degree triangle rule that or was it 60? One of the two I waited on, and I struggled without for a while. And then I ended up buying it because I was like, you know, I'm tired of cutting out 200 and some triangles for that solar flare quilt. And now I've got another quilt, and it's using the same same rule. I'm like, oh, sweet. Now it's worth it.
Yeah. It's always nice when you can find a ruler that does multiple things too. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so helpful, and all these things take up space too. So
Yes.
you really want to make sure you're getting something that will work for you and hopefully do more than one thing.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Fallon's channel, please do so. I mean, she does such a wonderful job of her channel, and I think a lot of you probably do watch her and subscribe to her. But if you don't, definitely check it out, because, as I said, she's one of the first channels I started watching last year when I discovered there was a YouTube quilting community. And I've always been a big fan of yours, and I was just, super excited that you actually were able to come join me. So,
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to be here because I like I said, I watch you in the morning, and we were talking about it too, that I love watching you in the morning and seeing what you're doing. I loved that one that you did recently, the paper piecing. I can't remember what you two were making, but it was
the
so
emu,
cute.
the bird, the emu.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Yeah.
turned out so cute. I printed it out because I was like, I need to make this, and it's gonna be, that pile of things you want to make. But
Yeah, I finished mine. I really do need to finish it because that was a lot of fun. And Sylvia, the lady that designed the pattern and came on with me, she sent me more patterns, like for a kangaroo and wombat and that. And I want to make all this stuff, but I mean, I need to quit my day job in order to get her. And the dogs have to eat, so it's not likely to happen anytime soon.
yeah, I mean, I stay home, so I don't have a job outside of what I do here.
Yeah.
But I do have kids and a dog and a husband, so it's still hard to get everything done that you want to get done. And my kids, I homeschool them, so they're starting back soon, and that takes up a lot of time. And my kids both have activities they like to do. I just got my daughter's schedule for soccer. She plays on a competitive team, and they practice every night, Monday through Friday. So
Yeah, I mean, with the soccer, I mean, yeah, those folks are intense. Like, we've hosted exchange students, and soccer, or football as they call it over there, is
yeah.
really big. And yeah, they're always out practicing every night. So I understand that.
Yeah. I'm like, I always try to figure out what I can do while she's practicing, because it's about 45 minutes away from our house. So I try to think of what I can do during that, because it's an hour and a half. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday they practice, in 2 hours on Tuesday and Thursday. So that's a big chunk of my day right there.
I'll tell you what I do, because I record on my phone and everything else. I will sometimes sit and edit my videos.
Yeah.
Somewhere, and that's kind of the joys of doing that. Like, I have a haircut appointment later on today, and I'll probably end up editing my week in review section.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I could probably work on thumbnails or something.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I do, and I find it's very useful, because it's, like you said, you've got all this downtime, and it's just something that you can do to. Oh, there's the line. I was like, where'd the line go? It's on the other side. And see, we keep it real here on the channel. Like, we are not perfect.
Yeah, so when you get them sewn on either side of the line, I don't know if you can see from here. That's how, like, recording and editing helps, because I can make sure you can see. But once you sew a 1/4 inch on either side of that line, then you just cut down that drawn line.
Yeah, so this is the line that she's talking about, and I've sewn down either side. And if I was a smart man, I probably would have used like black thread to make it more contrast in the show, but I think you can get the idea. And so I'll just cut down this line right here.
And then you'll cut in half the other direction as well.
Right. Yep, I'll do that in a second. And in a moment, I'll show you all which fabrics I chose, because you know me, I had to choose something bright and fun.
So here are 2 of the potential 4 patches you'll have, but you will have enough to make 2 4-patch blocks.
Awesome. So these are the fabrics that I chose. Those 2. and then these two. I bought.
Oh, but are those batiks?
I don't think so. I got them
They
from.
kind of have the look of them. It's really pretty.
It's let's see, Dan Morris for QT fabric. It doesn't feel like a batik. It was on the D stash on So Year about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago.
I can get in so much trouble watching those.
Can't we all? I try to stay away from. I mean, I love the So Year brothers, and I think it's
I do
great.
too.
That three gentlemen decided, hey, let's open a quilt shop because it's good, especially for the guys quilters, because they have, I think some of their purchases definitely are more geared towards gentlemen. But yeah, you can get in a lot of trouble if you're not careful on their live sales.
Yeah, especially since you don't really have a cart that shows you how much you've done so far.
When I go on there, I try to be good, and I just set myself a budget. I say, okay, look, you have $20 or $30 or $50 or whatever it is, and that's it. Once I hit that limit, I turn it off and go about my day and pay the invoice in the morning.
Yeah. I found, I don't know if you've ever done it, but I found that if I put them on my TV, that you can't comment on there, so I can just watch. I'm not tempted to buy anything that way.
Yeah, I haven't bought anything on there for a while. Because usually when they're on Saturday night, I'm usually in the middle of either recording or editing the podcast. So that kind of works out well for me. It's probably saved me. And I'm really in this part too, where I'm trying to do more with my stash, because I have a lot of fabric here.
Yeah, I do too. But I don't have all of the fabric though.
Oh, for sure. I mean, now my focus is, and this is something I'm going to talk about on the podcast tomorrow, but I want to do more, like at least the quilt tops, like if not all of it, a majority of it with stash fabric. And I've got quite a few ideas for the remainder of the year as to what to do with what I have in my stash. And I mean, I had this fabric for months and I didn't know what to do with it. And then, you came on, with this idea, and I'm like, this will look really, really nice.
Yeah, that's gonna look great.
And
so
then
I'm gonna press mine really quick, and I like to press the fabric to the darker fabric side, the seam.
yes.
And then if I do that, I can easily nest my seams. And I don't pin too much on these. You could definitely pin at the seam and make sure it lines up really nicely when you put it together in the 4-patch. But I usually just, when I nest them like that, because I have the seams folded in, different directions, I can kind of just feel where the seam meets, and I just go ahead and sew and wing it and hope they meet up really well. But I also don't mind that much if they're not perfect. As long as they're close, I'm kind of okay with it. But if you need yours to be, a nice point, then you can throw some pins in.
Yeah, what I tend to do with mine is I put a clip on I'll start on this side, so down here, I put a wonder clip on the other side of the meeting, whatever you want to call it, the meeting point.
And then it'll hold it all for you.
Yeah, and I find that works really well for me. So that's kind of my tip for everybody. I mean, you do what works for you. We were talking about Becca a little earlier, and she's on with us just now. She just hopped in and said hi to you, Fallon, and myself.
Hi, Becca. We were just raving about you. Did you miss it?
Yeah, Becca's great. I mean, she's been joining in on the chat the last few weeks, which I think is just awesome. And then Nancy's asking what time my podcast is. That goes up at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday mornings.
And those you record and post, correct?
Yeah, I pre-record those. Yeah, this is the only live I regularly do. I prefer. Why does this thing keep saying? Let's see, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, Brenda says, tell Amanda I'm working on my dishcloth an hour every evening, may finish by Christmas. Yeah, my wife has a knitting podcast. or a knitting channel, and she's been teaching a lot of folks how to start with knitting. And dishcloths are like the easiest thing to start with, and they come in so useful. So if you
Oh
have an
yeah.
interest in knitting at all, definitely check that out. Janine says, love So You Brothers, but I really find it hard to restrain myself. Spent about $120 on a Notions night this week.
Oh no, I have not caught one of the Notions one.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
I'm so picky of my Notions that I tend just to wait and buy, piecemeal.
Yeah, I get so many from all my different boxes that I don't really find that I'm, searching for them so much. So it'll usually be if something catches my eye on watching somebody else's videos that they use that I'll look into. But otherwise, I have so many.
All right, let's see. Scrunchions is here. Nancy's here. Janet says she's working on Aussie animal blocks. Is that the FPP ones from Sylvia? Naomi, good morning from California. Still, I love that you joined us this morning, Naomi. I know it's early for you guys. It's 5:30 over there in the morning. So that is definitely one dedicated viewer, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Oh, California. What part of California? I lived in Santa Barbara County for a while in a small little town over there. And oh, it's so beautiful. I miss the weather so much.
That's like northwest of Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, it's kind of central. Yeah, I'm very bad with directions. But it's, my brother still lives out there in San Ynez Valley. But the weather, I miss the weather in California so much.
Yeah, the only part of Cali I've been to the San Francisco Bay Area a few times. And we went down on a day trip all the way down to Monterey, Carmel by the Sea, and so forth. And that was a beautiful trip.
It's definitely beautiful there. You can get so much in at one time. You get the beach, and you can see parts that are the desert, and then the mountains. It's so incredible there.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful place to visit. All right, Naomi says Santa, and my Spanish is horrible. Inez.
Oh, so she lives where my brother does then. Santa Ynez area. I'm thinking, I don't see it on my screen. Oh yeah, I do. So yes, that's where my brother lives. I'm trying to figure out where to put all this stuff because I have so much stuff around in my little table area.
So this is my 4-patch.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Those colors are great.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought this would be perfect. And then I'm going to do, did I cut those or did I forget? I did do it. Okay, good for me. And I'm just going to border it in black. It's my go-to.
Oh, that'll pop so nice.
That's what I figured. Yeah, I just love using black as a border because it just works so nicely with just about everything, especially at bright colors. Marge says it's 10:33 p.m. She's over in Brisbane, Australia, if I remember correctly. And then Naomi says, your brother is my neighbor.
Yeah.
All right, so
with that first border strip we put on, you're going to notice that it goes past the 4-patch, and don't worry, that is how it's supposed to be. But on this first one, we're going to stop an inch or two away from the edge of the 4-patch, so that we can piece everything together once that last strip gets put on.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was going to be my next question, because that's where I stopped last time, and I wasn't sure if I was right or not. So, and then Colleen's put the link to the pattern on in the chat, so that way if you haven't seen it yet, you can definitely go over there. And then if these directions are not clear, or if you need a refresher, Fallon did put out a video earlier this week showing how to put this all together as well, and it's about a 6 or 7 minute video, so it's also another wonderful resource if you want to make this pattern as well. Janet's asking, are you on our Discord group, Fallon?
I do not know what Discord is, so I'm not in one. But if you think I should be on there, I can look into it. I don't know what it is though.
Okay, not a problem. And that's it. That's a good. Oops, I went too far, but that's okay. Life goes on. Discord, it's a social media platform. It is kind of like a Facebook or Instagram group, but instead of being like open to the whole wide world, it's kind of like a small group. The way I explain it to people is it's kind of like the old school AOL chat rooms back from like the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's, you know, you use it, there's an invite link that we can provide. It's on all my descriptions. And it's a joint group that's myself, Beth from Goody Goods, and Courtney from Pieces Love and Quilting started. But the whole idea of it is that it's a joint community for multiple channels to join and just be one big happy quilting family. There's different threads on here. Well, they call them channels, but the different threads, like there's one that's like show your work, like so people can post pictures of the stuff they've completed or working on. There's general chat. There's a section there where you're more than welcome to post your links to your videos that you post. It's, yeah, basically we designed it just to be a big, happy quilting community. So rather than people having to go from channel group to channel group, like
Right.
it's one big, happy collaborative, basically.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to go look. Is it like is it an app you download or is it just a website?
Either way, I mean, there is an app that you can use. It goes onto your phone pretty quickly. You can also access it from your computer as well. I use it.
Okay.
And if you, look, Colleen's already on it.
She's got it all.
Yeah, she brings up the link up there. So yeah, I mean, definitely check it out. I mean,
yeah, I will. Well, thank you, Janet. I feel silly that I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'll find it.
Do not feel silly. I didn't know what it was until my wife told me about it because one of the groups she's in with the knitting community uses Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the only reason I knew about it was through her. So don't feel silly at all because I think there's a lot of people that don't know what it is. But yeah. Okay, so Janet says I need to get Jackie out. What did I do wrong? Oh, because I went too far. That's okay. We'll leave him in bed for right now, but if we need to bring him out, we will. Okay.
All right, for the next border piece, you started on the side that is finished, so not the side that has the tail hanging off.
Okay.
So that one will go all the way across your 4 square. You won't have any hangover, and
Good.
makes it a lot easier once you get that first one on where you can kind of see where it's going. And
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if I told everybody else, but I was telling Fallon earlier, I think my idea is to make 9 of these and turn them into a small wall hanging, which I will put probably up here where the pinwheel one is right now. I want to try and change that out more often with the projects that I make.
it'll look great with those colors too, nice and bright and cheerful.
Yeah, no, we'd love to have you on the Discord there, Fallon. So yeah, when you get a chance, definitely check that out.
I will for sure. I didn't even know. I mean, that just sounds fun anyway. That's what's so hard on YouTube. And so I started a Facebook group because of it, because you can't see what everyone else is making, right? You share what you do, but it's so fun to see if somebody made something that you showed, to see the colors they used and everything. It makes it a lot more fun to be able to, really talk with people and, see what they're doing as well.
Yeah, I love your Facebook group. I think I was one of your first members.
You were.
But yeah, I mean, I know there's quite a few people that don't use Facebook, so that's why I ultimately decided Discord. And then, yeah, the reason I kind of did the group thing was I remember someone saying when I asked about it that they afraid of missing stuff because there's so many groups. And that's why I was like, well, why don't we just do a big old happy joint, everybody's welcome group. Love your mouth gymnastics, Sean, while you're sewing. No. I'm usually not this chatty.
So I went ahead and sewed on my third border piece because I was just I wasn't even thinking. That's how I am, where I just keep sewing. I usually have something playing, and that's what it felt like. I was just watching a YouTube video and sewing.
Hey, that's fine. Janine says, I rarely use Facebook. I love the friends on Discord. I do too. I mean, it's just, I've been so happy and just excited that it's been as successful as it has. You know, you come up with these ideas and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And this one has definitely been very, very successful. I think we have close to 100 members.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I actually didn't even have Facebook. I had deleted my entire page 2 years ago. I just got tired of all the, negative, the politics, all that on there. I'm like, I just want to get on there and see like my friends that I went to high school with, their kids and what they're doing. But that's kind of not how it stayed. But I didn't know about Discord or anything. So when my channel was growing, I was like, well, I'd really like to see, what people are doing. And I thought that would be the best way. But I think a lot of people, it sounds like, that felt the same way I do, where it's just like Facebook is just, it can be draining on there.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of this group, is that, there is no politics, there is no anything else like that. We are just focused on talking about quilting. If someone wants to talk about cross stitch or knitting or something related, they're more than welcome to. Like, it's not like we got to kick you out because you talk about cross stitch. We have one lady on there who posts her cross stitch videos and that sort of thing there. And I think it's great because sometimes you do want to branch out and try something a little different. Like Becca does knitting and crocheting projects and that as well. But yeah, like if it starts turning into politics and that sort of thing there, those posts will be removed very, very quickly.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that in crafting.
It's not been a problem. I mean, everyone has just been so fantastic on this. So
yeah, they're probably all there for the same reason. They want to see other projects, get ideas, get feedback.
And talk.
They don't want that extra stuff.
We have a fun question of the week that I throw up every week. Sometimes it's something, totally silly, like, maybe like your favorite ice cream flavor. I think this week's question was, if someone gave you $10,000, what would you do with it if you weren't allowed to pay bills with it? And we just do some fun stuff as well. And then at some point, we'll do like a trivia night. I just haven't had time to mess with that yet, but yeah, we have all sorts of stuff. Janet says, I like Discord because when you post something you've made, you get feedback to your work. And that's exactly true. Like, that's one of the things I want, because I get feedback from you all every week. And I love hearing positive feedback, and that's good that you guys can get that as well.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this fourth border, how do we attach this?
So I like to start on the side that has the little tail hanging off, and I kind of push that to the side and lay my border strip going across, and you want to make sure that tail's out of the way, but it should line up pretty even across there. And you really want to make sure that tail's out of the way. I can say that I have definitely accidentally sewed it into this seam, not paying attention to where it was laying. So I fold it out of the way, and then you just sew this border strip, the last one, in place. And then that allows you to finish off that first one.
I'm with you now. I understand. Okay. I was trying to figure out why you did it this way, and now this all makes total sense. Okay.
So it's just easier for cutting, really, because you can cut them all the same length. And then, otherwise you would have to cut some shorter and then the other two longer. But this just makes it easy for cutting. They're all the same.
Okay. I figured there was a reason behind it. And I was like, I'll just sit here and figure it out eventually, But no, now that you explain it, it makes a whole lot of sense.
I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally cut, something because there's so many different cut sizes, and you cut them wrong, and then you don't have enough fabric to finish the pattern without going and shopping some more. So
Yeah,
I think it just makes it really easy.
I know. I think this is great. I mean, now that I understand the methodology behind it, it makes a whole lot more sense. So I tend to be a control freak and OCD, but sometimes I just need to learn to just trust the process. And because
So
I've
then
always
now
done.
that final top one, that first border we sewed on that was the tail, can just fold across and be sewn in place.
No, that's a great idea. I mean, I might have to do that for different projects in the future because I've always done like top, bottom, and then left and right, or
Yeah, yeah. And that works well too. Like I said, it's just for cutting, it makes it so much easier. But if that method's easier, it's so easy just to measure the side of the 4 square and cut that way and then cut the top and bottom.
Yeah. No, I think this is definitely for a square project. I think this is great. And that's one of the things I love about having guests on the channel here on Saturday mornings is I get to learn all these new techniques that I may not learn otherwise. You know, like Sylvia teaching me the emu and everything else. It's been great having all these wonderful people join me.
Beth does a lot of paper piecing too, doesn't she? I know I've watched a few of her videos on her channel.
Yeah, she loves her FPP. A lot of people that start FPP love it, and that's pretty much all they ever want to do. I'm not on that campsite yet.
I saw that she got, I didn't get to watch the whole video, but she was live for a little bit and I watched some of it where she was doing a kit that she got that she was able to review. Like, I think it's from Legit Kits is what it's called. And that looks intense, that project she has.
That's a bird.
I think so. Yeah, it's like I can't remember what color it is, but I started watching the video and then one of my kids needed something and I was like, I want to see what she's making.
I don't know how she keeps up with all what she does. I mean, she does so much testing, so many different projects.
Oh, there you go. I think I got muted or something.
So that's.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, Janine says yes, Goldfinch. So okay.
Okay, yeah.
Janine is a cheerleader for everything FPP. That is definitely true. So Becca says, hey everyone, sorry I didn't say hi. Yes, you did. I saw you say hi to everybody. Well, maybe you didn't say hi to everybody, but you said hi to everybody. She says using this time to actually sew while I listen to Fallon and Sean. That's excellent.
Now if you get a chance, Becca, we want to know what you're working on too.
I love her space. I mean, I'd love to have a big double car garage turned into a quilting studio, but
her studio is just beautiful. And I love how she has all her fabrics organized. It's just, oh my gosh, it looks so good in there.
Yeah. No, one day. All right, so now it's time for us to trim the block, correct?
Yes, yes. So, find my ruler. So I like to tilt mine in different directions so I don't have them all tilting the same way. Let me see if I can show what I mean. So if you see the 4 squares are kind of tilted in a different way on both of these. So what I do, what works for my brain is I usually do some bordered in lighter fabric and some bordered in a darker fabric. And for my lighter fabric, I usually tilt the left side down. So I remember when I'm going through all the light left and I tilt them all down to the left. So let's see if I can find a way to show. So I tilt the square down to the left and then I leave my template square straight. So like I said, if you don't have a 9.5 inch template square, you could cut it from paper or something. to help guide you, or you could use, you know, some sort of marking pen to mark it out. But I just lay my square down and cut around it best I can here. And I can tell you the first time you do it, it is kind of scary cutting around it, making sure, because it doesn't feel right to do with seeing the the 4 patch tilted in there, but it really makes a fun quilt.
All right. No, I mean, I saw yours and I thought it looked great. So
I loved that fabric. A couple people, because that's actually an older video. It's one of the first videos that I did on quilting on my channel.
oh, okay.
And then I re-edited it to make it a little bit shorter. It was one that was filmed from my phone. And I re-edited it to shorten it down a little bit because I was still learning a lot about editing and all that. So it was a pretty long video. And I redid it just to show really important steps because we were doing this, you know, this live just to help people if they like the idea and want to make it. So that is the block all trimmed. And you could tilt them however you want. That's just how I like to do it. All the light borders I tilt to the left, and the darker ones I tilt to the right. I was trying to get one of these darker ones.
I'm getting this slowly because I don't have the right templates. I'm just using my.
Well, to be fair, when I designed it around the size that I have. So it kind of worked out a little bit for me that way. But definitely, like I like using what's it called, freezer paper when I make templates, because I'll layer a couple of them and use my iron to heat them together, and they get pretty stiff. And I'll use that if I need to make a specific size template.
Okay. I need to get some bigger square rulers because the biggest square I have is the 6.5. So
they come in really handy. I got a bundle. I usually, when I'm buying rulers like this, I don't go for the really expensive ones, you know, like there's some that are pretty pricey. These are just Arteza, I think that's how you say it, and they were fairly cheap on Amazon, and they work just as good as the fancy big brand.
Is that the ones that's like a kit of like 4 or 5 for like $39?
I don't remember how, because I bought these years and years ago. Inflation, they probably are $39 now, but it wasn't a bad price for, I think it was 4 or 5 rulers in it. Yeah.
What was the name of the brand again?
Arteza, Arteza. I'm probably saying it very, very wrong, but they usually do a lot of like paint supplies, I think.
Yeah, I think I was looking at those a couple of weeks ago myself, and I wasn't sure if they were any good or not. So
yeah, they work. I got them in because they were significantly cheaper than a lot of the other ones that are more aimed at, you know, quilters, those brands and stuff. But
okay, that's good to know, because I was actually looking, and I that name sounds very familiar to me. So
yeah, they stand out a lot on there because they're like, you know, this bright yellow color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they have worked really well for me, and I really like the smaller one for, you know, cutting 1/4-inch seams a lot, because the border, this yellow border, is right inside of the 1/4-inch seam, so you can line it up if you need to trim or something, and it works really well.
Okay, awesome. And this is my completed block.
Oh, that black is perfect on the border on that.
Yeah.
That is going to look really good. You'll really be able to see them tilting too, because it stands out a lot more.
Yeah, I have found that whenever I use bright colors, if I want a background fabric, you cannot go wrong with black. I mean, because it will just make it pop out. I mean, I keep, you know, 4 or 5 yards of black fabric just laying around the house at a time. And then when I get down to a couple of yards, it's time to get over to the store and buy more or order it online because I just don't want to run out of the stuff. Oh, look at that. My point's pretty much perfect, which doesn't always happen.
That's good. Mine wasn't perfect on that one, but I'm not gonna pick it out. Let's see. This one was mine.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, this fabric I got, the border fabric is not from the collection, but this floral and polka dots, it was a Nantucket Summer. It came in one of my sew samplers, and I didn't really understand the pattern they sent, so I decided to use it here.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I did with this. I just didn't know what to do with this fabric, but I think I'm going to make some more of these squares and make it into like a little wall hanging, because I think that'll look really nice up on the wall. So
I agree. That'll look good.
So we'll just check the chat again real quick just to see. Becca says, my sister used to call my sewing room in our old home the little sweatshop, LOL. Because when my sister comes to visit, we like to sew together. Like we usually make her a quilt to take back home to Australia. And yeah, we always call it our little sweatshop as well. So. Because I'd be cutting on one side of the table while she's, I'd usually cut the fabric and everything else for her, and she'd sew, and then usually we'd get behind, and the last night before she leaves, I'd be, sewing, binding and quilting half the night to get it done so she could take it home.
So that really would be a sweat. You could try to get that much done at one time.
For a couple of weeks, and then so like we usually go shopping, we get the fabric and we put it together, and it's nice that we have two machines and we have,
Yeah.
And and it's just a great activity that her and I get to share together every so often. So
yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Let's see. Does anybody have any I mean, we're just about done. I mean, we've got the block done. I'm going to go ahead and make some more off camera later on today. But does anyone have any questions for myself or Fallon? Let's see if anyone does.
Oh, I see Brenda downloaded the pattern. You're welcome, Brenda.
Yeah, it's a fun pattern. I mean, definitely give it a shot. If you don't have the ruler, I mean, I just use the, like you suggested earlier, the markings on the cutting board, and I was able to figure it out that way, and that worked out quite nicely, and it looks like it's square. Let's just see. 9.
Yeah, once you get, since the 4 patch is meant to be tilted, makes it a little bit easier. As long as you get one side lined up, you could get the rest of the sides marked.
Yep. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Brenda says Mom and Pop has a 12-hour today. Oh, that'll be fun. They're always a fun bunch to watch.
Oh, I don't know if I know that channel. Is it quilting as well?
Yeah, it's a quilting channel. It's Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and then they're
located. Oh, I do. Yeah, I follow them. Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if you didn't. I believe
it clicked after because I just saw the Mom and Pop, and then Quilt Shop. Yeah, because I think I saw them in the comments on one of your last videos. Is why I followed them.
Yeah, Laura Lynn pops in once in a while. I believe she's up in Nova Scotia I know she's in Canada, but I think it's Nova Scotia up there by Halifax and so forth, which is a beautiful part of the world. I've been up there a couple of times and really enjoyed that. And then Stephen Bland and the Idiot Quilter, he's doing his, I think there's like a Zoom like sew along as well, which I think started at the same time as this. So that's something else you can watch. There's a bunch of different lives throughout the day on Saturday. I can't keep up with them all.
Yeah, there's so many. I follow a bunch, and I'll try to at least get in and see a couple from each person, because it can be hard to keep up with them, but everybody has such great videos and ideas. It's so fun to see them all.
Yeah, and I know, like, I love everybody's support, every like, every comment. I mean, it just means a lot to me. Like,
Yes.
I don't think I can explain how much it does, because it can be a lot of work, and I love doing it. But the reason I do it is A, to keep myself motivated, and B, because people enjoy it. And if people didn't like it, then I'd probably quit. um let's see. Maddie Barnum says hello to me and you, and Marge says, I
Mark.
know what you mean about the pattern from Nantucket, Fallon. So she understands what you mean there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully it gave you an idea how to use your fabric then too, because I didn't like the pattern that came with the fabric this month from So Sampler, but it's
Yeah,
beautiful fabric though.
I love the fabrics in that from the So Sample that I see, but it's a lot of the times, but I haven't subscribed to them because I don't know, it's just sometimes the fabric suits me and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a little more difficult being a gentleman because a lot of
It's a
times I
lot of
feel,
florals.
yeah, and I'm not a florals person. I mean,
Yeah,
as you probably well know, so it makes it
yeah.
hard.
They I know a lot of people have complained that they do a lot of the same, like, lines of fabric this from the same designers and stuff. I really like florals, so it's fine and it works for me, but I know a lot of people wanted them to try branching out to new things, so they put some Tula pink in one, and I know a
Yeah,
lot of people are excited about that, but then I was like, ugh, I don't really use that fabric very much.
and that's where I think all these unboxing videos are just such a wealth of information, because you can go
Right.
on and see what has come out from these boxes, for the last few months, and then you can decide, okay, yes, this is something that I would like for myself, or no, I wouldn't. I mean, that's kind of like a big one for me was that Missouri Star Advent thing that you did
Hmm.
last year. I mean, I watched that, and I mean, yeah, there's some good stuff in there, but would it be good for me? No.
No,
So,
yeah.
you
And
know,
I try to mention that too. And I was like, this would be a fun box for somebody who's new to quilting because it's a lot of notions and stuff like that, but that they may not have yet. But for somebody who's been quilting a long time, a lot of the stuff they've already got.
yeah, and it's just not. I don't want a lot of notions. I'd rather more of fabrics,
Right.
central box. So, but it's good for that sort of thing there. Like you know, it helps me decide, because you often don't know, what they got to put in there, because you go to a website and it'll tell you how wonderful and great and what wonderful things it is. But you don't really get to see what's in there. But that's where the unboxings that folks put out just come in so handy. So let's see. Let's see. All right. So do you want to let me know what you have coming up on your channel in the next like week or two, just like a promo?
So I do have a fun well, I think it's going to be fun. I have a fun video coming out. Hopefully I'm not too long-winded about it because I was really excited.
Okay.
My daughter and her friend wanted me to go to the store and get them some canvas tote bags to paint as a
Okay.
project. And so I was going to the store anyway, and I could not find but one. And so I bought some fabric at Walmart. It's 2 yards for about $12, and I was able to make 4 tote bags out of it. So I was like, this is going to be a great video because I love making tote bags, and they're so useful for groceries, different things. So there's a video like that coming out. I have a nice diagram to show how to get all 4 tote bags out of the fabric, the 2 yards of fabric. So that's coming up. And then I am going to branch out. I'm doing a series on the 9 patch, and it's going to start with the history of the 9 patch and how to make a basic 9 patch. And then we're going to move into cutting the next week, piecing some of it together. And then I am going to go live to put it all together. So I'm going to try to get the information out ahead of time. So if anybody wants to sew along with me doing the 9 patch quilt, then you'll have the fabric requirements and stuff like that. So it's a very different route from what I usually do on my channel because I'm going to be going live, piecing it together. So hopefully,
Will do.
hopefully it works out.
Will do fine. This is a good practice run for you. And I mean, that sounds great. I mean, I still have more of this fabric left over, so I might end up, sewing along with you on that if time allows. When will that start, do you think?
I am hoping to start it in September. Like I said, with my daughter and everything going on, what's going on with her and everything, hopefully I can get everything together by then for it to start at the beginning of September. If not, then it'll have to get pushed off to October, but it is coming.
Okay.
I set it in my planner as a upcoming series, so it's set in stone now.
Awesome. That'll be great. Yeah, because I mean, I just don't want to commit to anything else in August because I still need to get my quilts done for the state fair. So.
Oh yeah. No, I August is booked for me.
Yeah, I'm just glad you could join me this morning. I think that was great that you're able to do that. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. It was fun. I know we had tried to work something out for a while. Different things kept coming up, but now we did it.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully we get to do something together again in the future. This has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, and
I
it looks
have
like
as well.
I think the viewers have as well. Scruncheon says, "I love the idea. Look forward to your 9-patch series."
Oh, good.
And then Colleen says, "Woohoo! Live with Fallon." I agree.
Yeah, everyone's going to be confused when they see that come out. They're like, "What? She's going to do a live?"
That's why everybody kept asking me to do more, because I go live with Stephanie Stitches about once a month, and they're like, "We want you to do more lives. We want you to do more lives." And I'm like, "Well, I really didn't know when to do it." And I sat there and thought about it for quite some time. I'm like, "Well, I don't really want to do weeknights because after work I'm so exhausted. I'm mentally drained for the day." And then I was like, "Well, I'm always up early Saturday morning, before everyone else is up." So that's why I chose Saturday morning. And then I figured that way I could catch the European crowd in the afternoon and hopefully catch some of the Aussies before they all go to bed, because it is quite late down there. So unfortunately, it's not the best time for my friends on the West Coast, but we'll work something out for them in the very near future as well.
It's such a catchy, you have Brekkie with Sean. It's such a catchy video title too. So, and it works.
Yeah. And that's Brekkie is an Australian term for breakfast. So I just thought that was just, that was appropriate. So
yeah.
Because one of my friends, Brandy from 100 Proof Quilt, she has coffee with brandy. So I was like, well, I don't really want to do coffee, steal her name. So that's why I thought Brekkie would be fun. Plus, it ties into the whole Australia thing too, like you said.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So Nancy says she has to run. Good show today. Today, Sean and Fallon. Scruncheon says less editing, Sean, and the lives. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there is no editing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's a totally different animal. It's kind of like FPP versus traditional. Like, it's just a whole different animal. But you learn and you get used to it, and each one you feel a little more comfortable. I mean, I'm still not perfect at it, but I feel a whole lot better than I did when I started this than I did, when I first started maybe 6-7 weeks ago. So yeah, just jump out there, with your lives and just do the best you can, For sure. Patty G says, "I'll be watching for future 9-patch videos. I downloaded the rocking block. It's refreshing to see new variations of 4-patch and 9-patch. What good way to use up the scraps." For sure.
For sure, yeah.
Brenda asks, "How is business, Sean? I find you an indicator of what the shipping industry does. A lot of shipments getting through." International shipping is very, very busy. I mean, they all, everyone slowed down for COVID in 2020, but I mean, it's ramped up. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, definitely not. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? One of my favorites join up for lives. Janine says, "I love my favorite join up for lives." And then Marge and Janet, my two friends from Australia, they're talking about different boxes, but they talk about the shipping to Australia, which is ridiculous.
I imagine it is. It's crazy.
Especially like for Sew Sample, it probably costs more to post it down there than it does to buy the box.
The box, yeah. I know Marge gets it though, because we'll chat back and forth, because she'll sometimes watch my unboxing before she gets it, I think. And
yeah, like I remember I had to send like a document to, and for a while there, Australia was not accepting anything less than express postage. So like the cheapest thing you could send was like $75.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had to send something to my dad a few months ago, and it cost me that much, and it hurt pressing buy the label button.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't imagine.
But
Oh
it is
man.
what it is. And when I send that koala quilt to my sister, it's it's gonna hurt, but she's worth it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, so we'll see if anyone else has anything to say. Otherwise, we'll probably go ahead and log off, and that way you guys can go about your day and check out some of the other wonderful lives. I will have my podcast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, US/Canada, as usual. And then I'll probably have another video go up Tuesday, but we'll see if we get that recorded first. So definitely tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. And then next Saturday, unless something else changes, we'll be over on Beth's channel for some more FPP fun. I mean, I showed the block that we were going to do last week. I think Courtney's finishing that up. So as long as she's able to finish it up, we'll do that. And if not, we'll come up with something else for sure. We may just do like a whip party or something. But we'll talk a bit more about that closer to the event. So do you have anything else to add, Fallon, or?
No, but if you guys do make any of these, I would love to see some photos. I'll join that Discord group, so you can either show me in there, or if you're on my Facebook group, you can show me there, because I'd love to see them. I've seen a few so far. Some people tag me on Instagram, so it's always fun to see how people interpret, a pattern that you put together.
Yeah, I love it when people make the stuff that I show. Like when I did the bear
Right.
block, quite a few people made those, and I saw it, and it makes, as a content creator, it makes me really happy, to see that people make the stuff I show. So just run over to chat one last time. Janet said she loved the live, so did Lisa, and I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll see you all next video. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And we'll go ahead and hit the button that says